Now this is the last presentation based on the general trends in the properties of transition elements. I have covered all the rest of the properties of the transition elements in this presentation. It's a slightly bigger presentation, but we will complete the topic today. Now as usual, the periodic table, we might need it while studying the properties, and as I keep saying, no harm in revising quickly that this part of the periodic table is the D block 3 to 12, group 3 to 12, and these elements are the transition elements. However, you know that every D block element is not a transition element. Today's property, first property, is we'll be discussing about the magnetic properties of transition elements. First things first, you know that magnetic property substance की कैसे हम पता करते हैं? We check its behavior in the presence of an applied magnetic field. And on the basis of its behavior in the presence of an applied magnetic field, हम बहुत सारी categories में substances को divide करते हैं. But the main categories are two main categories: paramagnetic and diamagnetic. A substance can be paramagnetic or it can be diamagnetic. वो substance which experiences a force of attraction in the presence of the applied magnetic field is called as a paramagnetic substance, and the substance which experiences a force of repulsion is a diamagnetic substance. So we know the definition. Magnetic behavior कैसा हो सकता है substance का? It can be either paramagnetic or diamagnetic. Now what is the reason and what is the behavior of transition elements? Now paramagnetism जो होता है, it is due to the presence of unpaired electrons. I have highlighted the words unpaired electrons here. Why? Because you know that an electron in itself is a magnet. It is charged and it's constantly in motion, therefore it itself is a magnet. And orbital में जब paired electrons होंगे, magnetic moment of one electron is cancelled by the equal and opposite magnetic moment of another electron. But जब electron unpaired होगा, orbitals में एक एक electron होगा, that substance will have some net magnetic moment, and that is why that substance experiences the force of attraction when kept in the applied magnetic field. Thus paramagnetism is primarily due to the presence of unpaired electrons. And what is a transition element? Transition element is that element which has unpaired electrons, जिसमें number of electrons 1 to 9 हो. So somewhere कोई ना कोई electron unpaired होगा. That is why transition elements having unpaired electrons are therefore paramagnetic in nature. So most of them are paramagnetic in nature. किसी oxidation state में अगर configuration ऐसी होगी कि कोई भी unpaired electron नहीं होगा, then they'll be diamagnetic. And this part I have highlighted, which is very important. अगर आपको फिर paramagnetic substances में comparison करना पड़े कि किसका paramagnetic character ज़्यादा है, you directly do it on the basis of the number of unpaired electrons. More the number of unpaired electrons, more is the paramagnetic character. I also written that those D block elements which do not have any unpaired electrons are diamagnetic. We have the exceptions zinc, cadmium and mercury. ना ही atomic state में उनके unpaired electrons है, ना ही उनकी most common oxidation states में. इनमें भी, इन ट्रांजिशन एलिमेंट्स में भी, जो इनकी एटॉमिक या ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट्स में पैरामैग्नेटिक होंगे, लेकिन किसी ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट में अगर उनकी कॉन्फ़िगरेशन ऐसी होगी दैट नो अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन इज लेफ्ट, इन दैट oxidation state they will be diamagnetic, because paramagnetic behavior के लिए presence of unpaired electrons is necessary. I've added two diagrams here. This is a basic depiction कि कैसे हम check कर सकते हैं किसी भी substance का magnetic behavior in the presence of applied magnetic field, and these are a few examples. Paramagnetic, diamagnetic, these have incompletely filled d orbitals, these have completely filled d orbitals. First example being zinc 3d10 4s2. Copper plus, in its ionic state it is 3d10, thus diamagnetic. Zinc plus 2 3d10 diamagnetic. Chromium in its atomic state has unpaired electrons, paramagnetic. In 3 plus state, unpaired electrons. Cobalt in its atomic state, unpaired electrons. CO3 plus in its ionic state has unpaired electrons, thus all of them are paramagnetic. Now the question is, how do we calculate this? How do we measure this magnetic moment? We have a formula. We can calculate mu, but in D block elements you have to keep into consideration that we do that by taking spin only formula, because जो magnetic moment होता है electron का, It is partly due to its orbital motion because it's constantly revolving around the nucleus, and partly due to its spin motion. It is rotating, revolving around its own axis also. लेकिन ट्रांजिशन एलिमेंट्स में जिन अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की हम बात कर रहे हैं, डी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की बात कर रहे हैं, दे आर प्रेजेंट इन आउटर ऑर्बिटल्स. देयरफॉर मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट में सिर्फ स्पिन कंसिडर किया जाता है. वी यूज ओनली स्पिन ओनली फॉर्मूला फॉर द कैलकुलेशन ऑफ म्यू as far as the transition elements are concerned, and the formula is this: mu is equal to under root n into n plus 2. N is very simple, it is the number of unpaired electrons. So when you know n, the number of unpaired electrons, you can calculate mu of an atom of a transition series or an ion of a transition series. This is a table, some of the ions are given here. ये पिक्चर मैंने इंटरनेट से ली है. इन्होंने कैल्शियम और गैलियम भी लिया है. दे आर द पार्ट ऑफ द पीरियड लाइक दिस. आवर फर्स्ट ट्रांजिशन सीरीज इज फ्रॉम स्कैंडियम टू जिंक. इन्होंने कैल्शियम 20 भी लिया है एंड गैलियम 31 भी. देयर इज नो हार्म. यू कैन सी D0 एंड D10 इनकी कन्फिग्रेशन होगी. एंड डिफरेंट आयंस भी लिए हैं, उनकी कन्फिग्रेशन दिखाई है, कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है, कितने अनपेयर्ड है, एंड देन म्यू कैलकुलेटेड क्या है एंड ऑब्जर्व्ड क्या है. यू विल सी the similarity. कहीं कहीं थोड़ा सा वेरिएशन होगा, but mu calculated is equal to mu observed, right? The next property is their catalytic property. Transition elements and their compounds have this another property that they can be used as catalysts. You know the definition of a catalyst: a substance which can alter the rate of the reaction. Mostly ये accelerate ही करते हैं rate of the reaction. Some of them do slow down reactions. They're called as catalytic poisons, but the general definition is that catalysts accelerate the rate of the reaction. Now again, these transition metals, they can be used as catalysts because of the same property, which is presence of unpaired electrons in their incomplete d orbitals. That is why I told you कि ये जो अब हम properties पढ़ रहे हैं, they are shown by only those d block elements जिनमें unpaired electrons है, only those d block elements जो transition elements है. Why are they capable of doing so? Because ये जो unpaired electrons है, they can absorb and they can emit, re-emit a wide range of energy, and because of that जो required activation energy होती है, that can be made available. Since these can make available the required activation energy, that is why they act as catalysts. Also वो जो है intermediate compounds भी बना सकते हैं because they have variable oxidation states. Because of that property, that transition elements have variable oxidation states, which is also a property due to the presence of unpaired electrons. They can form intermediate compounds, right? Activated complex theory of catalysis के हिसाब से जो role of catalyst explain करता है कि आपको एक alternate path मिल जाता है जिसकी activation energy कम होती है, and that is how it accelerates the rate of the reaction. Number 3, they can provide a suitable large surface area. One suitable, second large surface area जिसपे adsorption हो सकता है. Adsorption is one more theory, adsorption theory of catalysis. Because of the free valencies, adsorption theory के हिसाब से भी they have all the capacity of acting as catalysts, right? I have used this picture here जिसमें transition elements like iron है, then compounds of transition elements like V2O5 है. All of these are used as catalysts, and these are the examples, the reactions in which they are used as catalysts. Like iron is used in the manufacture of ammonia by Haber process. Molybdenum is not a catalyst, it's used as a promoter in Haber's process. तो कौन कौन सा element है, कौन कौन सा compound है, उसका usage on this side of the picture लिखा हुआ है. The next property is the property of complex formation. After this D and F block elements, we have a unit based on coordination compounds, right? And उसमें हम in detail पढ़ेंगे कि ये complexes, ये coordination compounds क्या होते हैं. Right now we can't go into those details. Right now we just need to study कि transition elements क्यों बनाते हैं complexes, क्यों बनाते हैं coordination compounds. These two examples are the basic representation complex ions की. इसको central metal atom कहते हैं, इसको ligand कहते हैं, right? Now in both of them you can see iron है central metal atom यहाँ पे copper है. Transition elements दोनों है, iron and copper. It is not that कि कोई भी compound ऐसा नहीं है जिसमें non-transition central metal atom हो. Chlorophyll is a coordination compound जिसका central metal atom magnesium है, which is non-transition, but that is rare. Mostly जितने भी आप examples देखोगे complexes की या coordination compounds की, उनमें ये part transition element होता है. Central metal atom is a transition element. Why? Because their metal ions are comparatively smaller and they have high ionic charge. Because of this first property and second property, they have large charge by size ratio, which is very important for a metal to act as a central metal atom. And there's an availability of vacant d orbitals. They're called as coordination compounds because coordinate bonds होते हैं between the ligands and the central metal atom. How is a coordinate bond formed? एक donor होता है and both of the cation and the anion they share that donated pair of electrons. Now जो cation है यहाँ पे इस कोऑर्डिनेशन स्फीयर में ट्रांजिशन मेटल, उसके पास जगह होनी चाहिए एकोमोडेट करने की इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो डोनर साइड डोनेट करेगी. Transition elements have that space. They have vacant d orbitals because transition element is an element जिसमें सिर्फ 1 to 9 electrons होंगे. कहीं न कहीं जगह vacant होगी to accommodate these electrons. Thus, because of large charge by size ratio and the presence of vacant d orbitals, transition elements are capable of forming complexes also known as coordination compounds. As I said, we'll study them in detail in the next unit. Next property, they form interstitial compounds. You have studied quite a bit about this in the first unit, solid state, and maybe you recognize the diagram also. Interstitial compound क्या होता है? In which a small atom like that of hydrogen, carbon, boron and nitrogen occupies the interstitial sites in the lattices of transition elements. ये जो green balls है, these are the lattice sites, right? We have had the opportunity of studying for a few days in the classroom and हमने structures बनाए भी थे कि metal जो होता है उसका structure ऐसा होता है, crystal lattices arranged होते हैं in a regular geometry. उनके बीच में जो empty space होती है they're called as interstitial voids, and वो voids जब occupy करते हैं small elements like these hydrogen, carbon, boron and nitrogen, the compound formed is an interstitial compound. Like टाइटेनियम के लैटिस में कार्बन एटम्स हो, टाइटेनियम के लैटिस में हाइड्रोजन एटम्स हो, आयरन के लैटिस में हाइड्रोजन हो, मैग्नीज के लैटिस में नाइट्रोजन हो. दीज आर द फ्यू एग्जांपल्स. ऑल्सो ऑक्लूजन किसे कहते हैं? ऑक्लूजन इज बेसिकली इंटरस्टिशियल हाइड्राइड फॉर्मेशन. जब H2 के एटम्स फिट इन हो इन द क्रिस्टल्स ऑफ प्लैटिनम, प्लेडियम, निकल एटसेट्रा. Like it's called as adsorb होते हैं कहाँ पे? Interstitial sites पे. The process is called as occlusion. So these compounds formed because of occlusion are also interstitial compounds. The last property, I have accommodated all these properties in this one presentation because छोटी properties थी सारी. The last property is their capability of forming alloys. First things first, alloy होता क्या है? Alloys are homogeneous solid solutions, right? They're formed by mixing two or more metals and they're combined together, melted together, and then the cooling of the metal takes place. Alloys are homogeneous solid solutions of two or more metals obtained by melting the components and then cooling the melt. And after cooling the melt, what you get is an alloy. Now this point, alloys are formed by metals whose atomic radii do not differ by more than 15%. As you can see in this structure, metal M dash has fit in completely, perfectly into the crystal lattice of metal M. So the difference in the atomic radii shouldn't be much. If the difference is large, constituent particles of M dash will not fit in perfectly amid the lattice sites of the metal M. So the difference in the atomic radii should not go beyond 15%. And transition elements fulfill the condition, right? That is why they form alloys. Examples, ferrous alloys सबसे common है, iron के alloys, ferrous is +2, chromium, vanadium, molybdenum, tungsten and manganese. They're used in the formation of alloy steels and stainless steels. बहुत ही common दो alloys है हमारे पास, brass and bronze, which are the alloys of transition elements with non-transition elements. Copper and zinc, both are D block, but copper is transition, zinc is not transition. The alloy of copper and zinc is known as brass, and that of copper and tin is known as bronze. That completes the topic, properties of transition elements.